Good day, class. My name is James Osei, the CEO of Miss Past Stitches. Today, I'll be taking you through trouser cutting. But before we go to our table for the cutting, you'll be needing the following measurements: our waist measurement, our seat measurement. If the person is a woman or a lady, it's her hip measurement. But we are working for a guy here, so our waist measurement, our seat measurement, our thigh measurement, our knee measurement, our base or bottom measurement, and also our trouser length. These are the following measurements that you'll be needing in this tutorial. Without wasting much time, let's quickly turn to our cutting table for our work to proceed. Hello class, you are once again welcome. In this tutorial, we'll be needing our cutting tools, and we'll be needing our hip curve, our crotch curve, and that of our short ruler, our meter rule. You can use any straight item to serve as a meter rule, and also our tailor's chalk, our tape measure, and that of our cutting scissors, plus our main fabric. So let's start interpreting our measurement on the fabric. First thing first, you need to locate the edges of the fabric. Then you rule a straight line. You rule a straight line on the selvedge of the fabric. You rule a straight line. Please, let's take our hem allowance or our folding allowance. The folding allowance depends on the designer. In this tutorial, I will be making use of 2 inches. I will be making use of 2 inches as our folding or hem allowance. So I will take that allowance and square across like this. So after this, I will take my full length measurement. My full length measurement is 36. It's 36. So I will take my full measurement on the hem allowance or the folding allowance. Please take note. We are starting from the folding allowance, the 2 inches that we first mark. Then after marking our 36, our full length measurement. When you want to determine the depth or the length of the crotch of the person, you need to divide the seat of the person into 4. Or you can take a look at the person or your client to give the person a crotch length. For this person, I'll be making use of 8.5 inches. 8.5 inches as my crotch length. And for the knee length, for our knee length, I'll be dividing the actual measurement or the full length measurement into 2 as my knee line. I'll do the same thing on this side. Then I'll square across through all the markings. 8.5 and that of 18. Then I'll square across. After getting all these horizontal lines, then we will start interpreting our measurement on the horizontal lines. First thing first, you can use the seat measurement on the crotch line. You can start with the seat measurement, but for this tutorial, I'm using the thigh measurement. So for his thigh is 21. 21 divided by 2 will give us 10.5. 10.5, and I'll mark my 10.5. After marking your 10.5 on the crotch line, you take in 1.7. You take in 1.7 like this. After taking in the 1.7, then you divide the whole measurement, that 10.5, into 2 to get a middle mark or a middle line. Like this. So after getting the middle, you take the measurement from the first mark on the selvedge or the fabric to the middle line. I have 5.2 here, so I'll mark 5.2 all through on the horizontal lines. I'll mark 5.2 on the waistline, 5.2 on the knee line, 5.2 on the hemline. After getting the middle line, I will interpret my knee line. And that of my base measurement. So for the knee measurement, I'm making use of 16. 16 divided by 2 will give us 8 inches. 16 divided by 2 will give us 8 inches. So we will be dividing the 8 inches for the middle line on the knee line here. The 8 inches, you will be taking 4 inches here and 4 inches here. Please, let's take note. Whatever number you will get, you just divide it for the middle line here or the middle mark here. The same thing on the baseline. I'm using 12.5 on the baseline. 12.5. So 12.5 divided by 2 will give us 6.2. For the 6.25, I will divide it into 2 for the center line here. So 3.1 here, 3.1 also here. Then after getting this mass, you come to your waistline to work on the waist measurement. For the waistline, you first take the measurement between this 1.7 and the middle line. Please take note. We are taking the measurement between the middle line here and that of this 1.7. I have 3.5. Then I will come onto the waistline. The same 3.5 I had here. Then I will subtract, or I will take out 1 inch. Then I will start my waist measurement from this mark. Please take note. Don't start your waist measurement from this selvedge line. Start from this mark. After taking the measurement between the 1.7 and that of the middle line, you take out 1 inch. From on the waistline, you take 1 inch out. Then for the waist measurement, I'm using waist 29. Waist 29 divided by 4. Let's use our tape measure. We divide the 29 into 4 to have 7.2. 7.2. Then you mark your 7.2 exactly. Please take note. Mark 7.2 exactly. We are cutting the front part. After that, we will add all the allowances to the back section. So after getting all these marks, you start connecting them together. So from the cross line to that of the waist mark here, you can use French curve, or you don't have the hip curve. You always have alternative for the hip curve. You can use a straight ruler for the lines. Then you come to the cross line here. You connect the waist measurement to that of 1.7. After getting this one, you use your hip curve to connect from the cross line to your knee line. Please take note. Take your time when cutting a trouser. You use a hip curve to connect from the cross line to your knee line. And you turn the front curve like this and connect this side too. So after getting this, you pick your meter rule or your straight ruler, your long ruler, and you connect from your knee line to the baseline, only to the folding allowance. Don't go extra to the last line. You are just resting on the first line here. Then you connect this side two together like this. So after getting the lines together, on the folding allowance, you just take half an inch out. Take half an inch out like this. to make the down look as a bed, so that when you fold the allowance up, you can, it won't fight for the room. Alright, let's come to the waistline. Let's quickly come to the waistline. On the waistline, technically, please take note. Technically, you need to take half an inch out. Let's take note. Technically, you need to take half an inch out from here to avoid foldings or fullness at the waistline. Please, let's take note. It's technical. Technically, you need to take half an inch from here. Then use your hip curve to connect that half an inch to the waistline here, like this. Like this. Then after getting this one, you come up 1.7 again on the crotch length. Then you use your French curve. If you don't have the French curve, you can use your free hand to create the curve. You can use your free hand to create the curve. Sorry for any inconvenience. Alright, so I think now we are done with the front session. So let's cut out and work on the back session quickly. Please take your time when doing the cutting. Take your time. Place your hands or your finger on the fabric like this before cutting on the line. Cut exactly on the line. Exactly on the line. Don't throw this piece away. And you notch here, you notch our 1.5 measurement. Please, if your fabric is not enough, you can turn upside down the front section. But if you have enough fabric, you can maintain the same shape as we did for the front. Make sure everything matches together. All the lines are matching. Check everything before you work on the back. Alright, so after getting everything done like this, you pick your ruler. Please, you take half an inch down. You take half an inch down from the crotch line. Half an inch down from the crotch line like this. It's a technical thing, so please don't forget to do it. Technically, take out half an inch down on the front crotch line, and you rule a straight line for the back. You fully suit the knee line on the front and that of the base line on the front. Alright. So after getting this done, you come to the waistline. Please, you'll be taking 1.5 as the body rise. 1.5 as our body rise for the back. 1.5 as our body rise for the back. And rule your straight line. On the waist measurement, please take 1 inch backward. Please, from the front section, take 1 inch backward like this and connect it to our front crotch line. Connect it to our front crotch line like this. So after getting this 1 inch done, and you took your waist measurement 7.2, and you took 1 inch dart, 1 inch dart, 1 inch as dart allowance. Then you took 3 inches, 7 as showing allowance for both sides and that of the back line. And you come to, there is difference between crotch line and that of seat or hip. Here is our crotch line. The seat or the hip falls between the waistline and that of the crotch line. So I'll be locating my hip in between these two lines. So our hip line will be somewhere here. Then I'll take half an inch away on the front, the crotch curve. I'll take half an inch here, then half an inch here. I'll take half an inch here as our sewing allowance. And I'll take the measurement for the rest. I have 7 inches exactly. Then I'll turn my tape measure. Like this. Then I'll start the 7 inches on the line, on this 1 inch line. Please, I'm doing it again. Take half an inch here on the front, only on the front. Half an inch here. Then you take the measurement of the rest. I have 7 inches. Then I'll start my 7 inches on this line, on the back line, 7 inches. And I'll take my seat measurement from there. So I'm using seat 33. I have 16 is 32. 16.5 will give us what? 33. So I'll mark my 33 here. And I'll come to my crotch line. I will come down 1.5 from the crotch line, 1.5. And I'll take my thigh measurement over there. The same thing, we'll take half an inch away on the front section, half an inch away here too. Then you take the measurement for the rest. I have 8.7. Then I'll turn the tape measure starting from the 8.7 on this mark. Then I will take my thigh measurement. I'm using thigh 21. So thigh 21 is here. Then I'll add my sewing allowance. I will only leave half an inch on this side, as my sewing allowance. So I'll be adding 1 inch. Half will be here and half will be here. 1 inch. So I'll be using 22 here. I'll be getting 22 here. And I will come to my knee line. The same thing. I will take half an inch here, half an inch here. Then I will take the measurement of the rest. I have 6.8. Then I will turn my tape measure and continue from there. 6.8 on the mark line. And I will take 16 inches. You are using around knee 16. So our exact measurement is 16. I have it here. Then I'll add my sewing allowance. Don't forget the sewing allowance. Half an inch here, half an inch here, half an inch here, half an inch here will give us 1 inch. So I'll be using 17. I'll be getting 17 here. Then I'll come to the baseline. The same thing. You take half an inch here, half an inch here. Please take your time when cutting trousers. Then I'll measure the rest. I have 5.4. And I'll turn the tape measure starting from 5.4 on this mark, the half inch mark. And I'll take my around base measurement. I'm using 12.5 for this person, 12.5. Then I'll add my sewing allowance, which is 1 inch, to get 13.5. So after getting all this mark, you just pick your ruler, connect from the baseline to the knee line as we did to the front. Then you go out at least half an inch and you pick your hip curve. Then you connect them together like this. So after getting this line down, you come to your seat and you connect this 1 inch dot allowance to our actual seat measurement like this. You rule your line, then you connect this allowance, that 3 inches allowance, to our crotch line like this, closer to the first line. Let's take it. So it will be like this. This is our actual measurement, and this is our sewing allowance for the side seam and that of the back line or the back crotch. Then you pick your curve. If you don't have the curve, you can use your free hand to get the curve. You don't have the French curve, but if you have the French curve, please kindly make use of the French curve. Now we are done with the back measurement interpretation. So let's quickly pick our scissors and cut through the lines. Please take your time when cutting. So I'll start from the down here. For the back side here, we are cutting exactly as the front. Exactly as the front. Don't add any allowance at the back here when cutting. And you cut through the 1 inch we marked here. We are done with the cutting. For the sake of the beginners, let me give the measurement for the pocket. I make use of 2 inches here on the waistline. Then I will start from the mark and I'll mark 7.5 or 7.5 inches on the side line to get my pocket. This is our side pocket on the front. Then for the back, please, for the back, you take 2 inches from the line here. Then the pocket, the mouth of the pocket will depend on the size of the client or the size of the figure you are working with. For this person, I will be making use of 5 inches. I'm using 5 inches as the pocket mouth. Then I will divide the 5 inches into 2. I will get the middle of the pocket to use that line as my dot line. So I will be working on the dot on this line. The depth or the length of the dot is 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches. Then I'll cross-check and mark the same thing here. Mark the same thing here.